Hello, this is Kristin from KristinCoaching.com. Thank you again for joining me for another one of my videos today. I'm so excited to see all of you. Please, if you like this video, I want you to please like it and subscribe to my YouTube page if you haven't already. Obviously, for those of you who do know me, I do relationship videos about having healthy and happy relationships. So all of my content that I do is focused on having you be able to have the best fighting chance to have the happiest, healthiest, long-lasting relationship possible. So if you like my content, please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube page, all right? So we're gonna dive into the content of this video today, and I want to talk about healthy versus unhealthy relationships. Now, as you know, the majority of my content has to do with relationships and how to make them as healthy as possible, right? But I wanted to make a video that really consolidated and condensed a lot of this information into one video for you to really understand what having a healthy relationship looks like. I think that we've all experienced very unhealthy dynamics out there, whether it's in your current relationship or past relationships that you have. So I think a lot of people really want to know, okay, Kristin, so tell me, what does a healthy relationship look like in a nutshell? So I'm going to give that to you today. And there really are 5 major key points that I think every healthy relationship must have. So we're going to dive into those 5 points right now, okay? And I'm going to explain them to you. So the first thing, in order to have, that healthy relationship, right, is you need to be a whole individual before you can enter into a whole relationship. So what do I mean by that exactly, right? I mean that we can't come into a relationship and expect it to be healthy if we're broken inside, if we have things that we really need to work on, if we are struggling with our self-love and our self-worth and we're not feeling good enough. We cannot expect our other halves and the people who we enter into a relationship with to give that to us, because that doesn't happen, right? We need to have that come from ourselves and have that come within. In order for a relationship to be whole, right? You need to be whole, your partner needs to be whole, and you got to come together to create a whole thing, right? And if parts of you are broken or parts of your significant other are broken, and then you're trying to mend that together into a relationship, well, then you're going to have broken pieces of that relationship, right? That only makes sense. So you have to get yourself as an individual as healthy, as happy as possible, okay? If you're going to have the best fighting chance of having a healthy relationship. I really want to drive that point in and let you guys know that, because that is absolutely key, okay? We cannot rely on our other halves to give something that we don't have, okay? We need to give it to ourselves and create it. And that's through that self-love and self-worth. So you got to get yourself whole, okay? And that's for everybody who is in a relationship. Have to be as whole as possible. I also want to say that, of course, there's things that you're always going to be working on and trying to improve in your relationship, and that's totally fine. But you need to be aware of the things that you're working on. You need to know that these are goals for you, and you're trying and you're putting active efforts into getting there. That's the key, okay? We always want to strive to get better, but we need to know the areas that are broken or the situations and the places that we need to be working on in order to make that happen, okay? So number 2, in order to have that healthy relationship, right, is you need to make your relationship, you have to put an effort in your relationship, and you have to make your relationship a priority. I think with unhealthy relationships out there, people aren't putting the relationship first. They're not thinking in terms of the mindset of the relationship. Oftentimes people think about, well, what is best for me? Me. But I think in order for a relationship to thrive and be as healthy and happy as possible, we have to think about what consequences are going to happen if we make a decision and how it can impact the relationship. So making the relationship, making the unified entity of both you and your other half coming together, that needs to be key. That needs to be priority. That needs to be number 1. So it's a certain mindset to have, okay? And that's really important. So I want you to ask yourself, what kind of mindset are you having? Are you having a very focused, individualistic mindset? which is fine, right? It is what it is. I'm not at all blaming you or saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that if we want a relationship to thrive and be as healthy, as happy as possible, we got to make that a priority, right? So we got to start thinking about the consequences of what your decisions are going to do in terms of impacting the relationship. Okay, so number 3 of what it means to really have a healthy relationship, right, is in order for a relationship to be truly healthy, we need to be taking personal responsibility of our actions, our decisions, our feelings, and our thoughts, okay? When I say personal responsibility is we need to own how our behaviors are impacting the relationship, whether it's positive or negative, right? We don't have things just happen out of nowhere in the relationship. We are a contributor to the relationship. So if we say things and do things and they cause a benefit and something good happens in the relationship, then great. But if we say and do things and it causes negative aspects, whether they're fights or arguments or breaks or breakups, whatever it is, right? We need to just take ownership and personal responsibility. Our partners, our other halves, are not making us feel any way. We feel how we feel. We react how we react, okay? That is your ownership, and you have to take responsibility for that. Yes, there's things that your partner can do that causes a trigger within yourself to feel a certain way, but you have to own your reactions and your actions. And if we just keep blaming our significant others for making us upset, making us sad, making us this, you're never going to come to a solution. That's not a healthy mindset to have. We need to take ownership of how we feel. We need to know what things do, what does our partner say or do that triggers us, that contributes to us feeling a certain way. But we have to take ownership of how we feel. That's a mature relationship mindset to have, and it's super important to remember, okay? So you need to take responsibility for yourself, and your partner needs to take responsibility for themselves. That's really key for having a healthy relationship. Number 4, in order to have a healthy relationship, is you need to have authenticity in your relationship. So what does that mean, authenticity? The way I look at it is you have to be able to say what you mean, okay? You have to be able to put your feelings in the forefront of the conversation so your partner knows where you're coming from. They know the deeper layers of how you're feeling. This includes honesty. Part of being authentic is you have to be honest in your relationship. Listen, your partner isn't going to know who you truly are unless you allow them to see that. And in order to allow them to see who you are, we need to be authentic with ourselves and we need to be honest. In any healthy relationship, 2 people need to be honest with one another, even if it's going to cause, some type of a rift or an argument or hurt feelings. There's ways to say it to help, soften that blow of the hurt feelings. But at the end of the day, you need to bring your true self into the relationship. And that's through authenticity and honesty. So I want you to ask yourself if you're being honest in your relationship. Because if you're not, you got to start making decisions and actions that are authentic, that are honest, so your significant other really can see who you are, know how you feel, and be able to act and react accordingly. When you have 2 honest people and authentic people coming together, that's the best fighting chance you have of having a healthy relationship. Okay, you guys, last but not least, tip number 5 to have a healthy relationship is you have to have trust in the relationship. I've talked about this time and time again in past videos that I've had. You need to be able to trust your significant other, and your significant other needs to be able to trust you. This goes without saying. I've talked about this many times, but you can't have a healthy dynamic unless you trust each other. Trust takes time to build, and especially if it's been broken in the relationship, it takes a long time to rebuild, but it needs to be there. If you're not trusting your other half, if your other half isn't trusting you, I guarantee that you're having unhealthy relationship dynamics that are going on right now. So this needs to be a focus for you. You've got to get that trust back. How do you do it? Well, authenticity and honesty is a huge piece right there. Okay, you got to do that. And in order to be authentic or to be honest, you have to be communicative, have that communication going. Okay, if you can do those things consistently, authenticity, communication, you're gonna build that trust in your relationship, and that's gonna give you the best fighting chance for you to have that healthy relationship that you desperately deserve. And I hope that you get there. Okay, so I hope that this video was helpful for you in terms of condensing what a healthy relationship really looks like and what that means. So if you have any questions about the content or the information that I provided to you, please comment below in the comment section. I'll get back to you like I always do. Again, like this video if you found it helpful, subscribe to my YouTube page if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me, and this is Kristin from KristinCoaching.com. Bye-bye.